Namaste students, I am JVN Dr. Rupesh Madhukar Likhar, Assistant Professor, Department of Kriyashari, Faculty of Ayurvedic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Today we will discuss about exchange of respiratory gases. The topic can be studied under two subpoints. First, exchange of respiratory gases in lungs, and second, exchange of respiratory gases at tissue level. First, exchange of respiratory gases in lungs, in which we will study diffusion of oxygen from atmospheric air into alveoli, diffusion of oxygen from alveoli into blood, diffusion of carbon dioxide from blood into alveoli, and diffusion of carbon dioxide from alveoli into atmospheric air. And second, exchange of respiratory gases at tissue level, in which we will study diffusion of oxygen from blood into the tissues and diffusion of carbon dioxide from tissues into the blood. Respiratory gases are oxygen, which is essential for cells, and carbon dioxide, which is produced as waste products in the cells. Exchange of these gases in the body means in the alveoli and at the tissue level is called exchange of respiratory gases. Let's start with exchange of respiratory gases in lungs. In the lungs, exchange of respiratory gases takes place between the alveoli of lungs and the blood through respiratory membrane. This exchange occurs through bulk flow diffusion. Now, what is bulk flow diffusion? Bulk flow diffusion is the diffusion of large quantity of substances from a region of high pressure to the region of low pressure. It is a type of passive transport, means it does not need energy. It takes place due to the pressure gradient of the substance across the cell membrane. Let's talk about respiratory membrane. Respiratory membrane is a membranous structure through which exchange of respiratory gases take place between the alveoli and blood. Respiratory membrane is made up of three portions: alveolar portion, capillary portion, and space between alveolar and capillary portions. Again, alveolar portion is made up of monomolecular layer of surfactant, thin fluid layer lining the alveoli, and alveolar epithelial layer. Space between the alveolar and capillary portion is known as interstitial space. Capillary portion is made up of basement membrane of capillary and capillary endothelial cells. This is the structure of respiratory membrane showing capillary portion and alveolar portion along with interstitial space. Now what is diffusing capacity? Diffusing capacity is the volume of gas that diffuses through the respiratory membrane per minute per mm of Hg pressure gradient. Diffusing capacity for oxygen is 21 ml per minute per mm of Hg, and diffusing capacity for carbon dioxide is 400 ml per minute per mm of Hg. Thus, the diffusing capacity for carbon dioxide is about 20 times more than that of oxygen. Diffusing capacity is affected by some factors. It is directly proportional to pressure gradient, solubility of gas in fluid medium, and total surface area of respiratory membrane. Whereas diffusing capacity is inversely proportional to molecular weight of the gas and thickness of respiratory membrane. Now we will see diffusion of oxygen. In that, first, diffusion of oxygen from atmospheric air into alveoli. Partial pressure of oxygen in the atmospheric air is 159 mm of Hg, and that in the alveoli is 104 mm of Hg. So pressure gradient becomes 159 minus 104 is equal to 55 mm of Hg. In see previously, diffusing capacity is directly proportional to pressure gradient, oxygen easily enters from atmospheric air into the alveoli. Next, diffusion of oxygen from alveoli into blood. Partial pressure of oxygen in the alveoli is 104 mm of Hg, and that in the pulmonary capillary 40 mm of Hg. So pressure gradient is 64 mm of Hg. This pressure gradient facilitates the diffusion of oxygen from alveoli into the blood more quickly. Now, diffusion of carbon dioxide. First, diffusion of carbon dioxide from blood into alveoli. Partial pressure of carbon dioxide in alveoli is 40 mm of Hg, and that in the pulmonary capillary is 46 mm of Hg. So pressure gradient becomes 6 mm of Hg, which is responsible for the diffusion of carbon dioxide from blood into the alveoli. Next, diffusion of carbon dioxide from alveoli into atmospheric air. Partial pressure of carbon dioxide in atmospheric air is 0.3 mm of Hg, and that in the alveoli is 40 mm of Hg. So carbon dioxide passes to atmosphere from alveoli easily. Now, exchange of respiratory gases at tissue level. First, diffusion of oxygen from blood into the tissue. Partial pressure of oxygen in venous end of pulmonary capillaries 104 mm of Hg, while partial pressure of oxygen in the arterial end of systemic capillaries 95 mm of Hg. It is because of physiological shunt in lungs. Because of physiological shunt, venous blood is mixed with arterial blood, and 2% of blood reaches the heart without being oxygenated. Because of continued utilization of oxygen in metabolic activity, average oxygen tension in the tissue is 40 mm of Hg. Thus, the pressure gradient existing between capillary blood and the tissue becomes 55 mm of Hg, so that oxygen can easily diffuse into the tissues. Now, diffusion of carbon dioxide from tissues into the blood. Due to continuous metabolic activity, carbon dioxide is produced constantly in the cells. So partial pressure of carbon dioxide in the cells is about 46 mm of Hg, whereas partial pressure of carbon dioxide in arterial blood is about 40 mm of Hg. So pressure gradient becomes 6 mm of Hg. This pressure gradient is responsible for the diffusion of carbon dioxide from tissues to the blood. The diagram showing partial pressure of oxygen and carbon dioxide at alveoli and at the tissue level. So here we end the topic exchange of respiratory gases, in which we studied exchange of respiratory gases at lungs, exchange of respiratory gases at tissue level. Moreover, we saw what is bulk flow diffusion, what is the structure of respiratory membrane, and diffusing capacity. Thank you.